I'm Vlad. This is 25 frames. 25 photographs you have never seen. With stories that nobody told you. Stay until then. Let's begin.
Meet Stucky. Although not ancient, he is a very remarkable mummy. Somewhat reminiscent of the monster from the movie The Thing, creepy photos showing a mummified dog stuck in a tree trunk began to appear online in 2018. The photo sparked a debate about whether such a situation was real. Apparently, yes, it is real. The photo is indeed of a dog that died after getting stuck in the hollow trunk of a chestnut oak tree. The mishap is believed to have happened in the 1960s in the southern US state of Georgia. A hunting dog was chasing some kind of animal, probably a squirrel, and followed it into a hole in the roots of the tree and then began to climb up. But the higher up, the narrower the passage became. Judging by the position of its legs, the dog continued climbing until it finally got stuck. 20 years later, in 1985, the tree was cut down by loggers working in a grove of chestnut oaks. After cutting off the top of the oak tree and loading it into a truck for transportation, one of the crew accidentally peered into the hollow trunk. A young Barack Obama, who was addicted to smoking pot, for which he earned the nickname Barca Oganja, 1982. Attempting to arrest Mike Tyson after he bit off a piece of his rival Evander Holyfield's ear, 1996. In 1936, sculptor Lester Gaba created a mannequin in the image of a young New York girl. He made it very realistically, named it Cynthia, and began taking it to various events. Cynthia became instantly popular. Cartier and Tiffany sent her jewelry. Famous fashion designers designed clothes especially for her. Her picture was on the cover of Life magazine. A box at the Metropolitan Opera House was booked for Cynthia. On behalf of Cynthia, conducted a radio show and a column in the newspaper. A photo shoot with her was made by Alfred Eisenstadt himself. Lester Gaba insisted that Cynthia had laryngitis, and that was the only reason she could not speak. Cynthia's death was female. She slipped out of a chair in a beauty parlor and crashed. John Brower Minnick was the heaviest man in the history of medicine. At the maximum, his weight was estimated to be around 600 kilo. Weighing him was impossible due to the size of his body, poor health, and complete lack of mobility. John Brower Minnock was entered into the Guinness Book of World Records. A refreshment vendor in the Syrian neighborhood of New York City, 1910. Sorority Sisters, University of Texas, 1944. The first subway, 1965. Walt Disney filming a movie on the beach in Rio de Janeiro, 1941. A ship's doctor examines the crew on their return from shore leave. Austro-Hungarian Navy, 1910. One of the most fantastic and mesmerizing illusions is located on the southwestern tip of the island of Mauritius. Both in photographs and in real life, it appears as if a steady stream of water is descending over the edge of an incredibly deep ocean abyss. But it is not water, but sand and muddy sediments that are in constant motion. Mauritius, being a relatively young island, sits on an ocean shelf raised above the seabed. This particular shore has a gradual slope ending abruptly, with a cliff 4,000 meters deep. Due to this marine topography, different shades of blue are visible due to the movement of sand and muddy sediments along these slopes. It is this unique harmony of hues that creates the optical illusion that has won so many fans around the world. Keanu Reeves, 1927.
Almost there. The last story is coming. Don't stop now.
A very young Cristiano Ronaldo takes a photo of himself with one of his first awards standing with his mom. A neural network generated 1920s gangster cats. Asaro Aboriginal Papua New Guinea, 1969. Krishnaites, adherents of the Indian god Krishna, preach equality, friendship, and vegetarianism at the Gostiny Dvor, St. Petersburg, 1993. Note the advertisement on the house opposite. Someone has already started repairing computers. The man who ruled Iran for 8 years rides a bus to work. Mahmoud Ahmadinejad is an Iranian politician and statesman, the 6th president of the Islamic Republic of Iran from August 3rd, 2005 to August 3rd, 2013. Before becoming president, he served as governor of Ardabil Provan and governor of Tehran. The photo shows Ahmadinejad using public transportation. Under the photo is a note that during his 8 years of presidency, Ahmadinejad did not receive a single rial from the state budget and lived on a teacher's salary. During his presidency, he did not initiate the ex-presidential law to receive a high pension. He returned to teaching again and commutes to work by bus. A giant sculpture of Pharaoh Ramses II hidden by sand, on which the photographer's assistant climbed to make the size clear. This is how the world saw the ancient temple of the pharaoh after thousands of years of oblivion. The author of the photo is the pioneer of French photography Maxime Ducamp, March 29, 1850. Ancient Roman soldiers paid not only for their own ammunition, but also for horse fodder. A payslip of a Roman legionary's salary, dated 72 AD, was found by archaeologists during excavations near the Dead Sea coast in Israel. The text of the papyrus says that part of the soldier's salary was withheld for boots, a tunic, and horse feed. That's just under the amount of his paycheck. Scholars have speculated that the soldiers stayed in the army not because of their wages, but because they were allowed to plunder during campaigns. T-bale bearers of the Laden tribe, Sichuan province, 1908. The weight of one bale is 300 pounds, i.e. about 130 kilos. Louis Coulon was born on February 26, 1826 in Vandenesse. When he became an adult, he went to work as an iron foundry at the factory Foret in Montlucone. From others, he differed only unusually active growth of hair. At the age of 12, he had to shave. But it turned out to be a difficult occupation. From the stiff hair, Coulon razor quickly dulled, and sharpen and change it regularly was too expensive pleasure. So he quickly gave up shaving, and by the age of 14, he was already flaunting a half-meter beard, surprising everyone around him. Coulon quickly became a local celebrity, but remained a very modest and shy man. Once refused to offer him Lord William 10,000 francs for a trip to England. Coulon's portraits began to appear on postcards. In May 1904, when his beard was measured in the presence of witnesses, its length turned out to be 3.3 meters. In the photo, Queen of Oranges, 1930. Photo of a girl from Claddagh in traditional national dress, Ireland, 1914. German soldiers stopped the truck and took the Red Army soldiers prisoner. The Red Army soldiers were not vigilant and drove right into the Germans' post. The Wehrmacht got a serviceable Gaz AA truck and military property, filmed by a German soldier in Mariupol on Artemis Street, October 8, 1941. Part of the collapsed Hanshin Expressway after the Great Hanshin earthquake, which occurred on January 17, 1995. Women escorting Nazi prisoners. The defeat of the Germans near Moscow, January-February 1942, Victor Temin. Nothing out of the ordinary, just a PlayStation 2 commercial from the early 2000s. Power Claw, Power Fist, a symbol of status and toughness, USA, 1967. Despite its brutality, this Power Claw was not intended for opening safes, but only for hanging bombs on airplanes. According to the calculations of the creators of this device, with the help of a Power Claw, a simple man could hang bombs weighing up to 500 kilograms on the wings of bombers, and to do it alone without using carts, winches, and hoists. The project was ruined by the then imperfect electronic systems. They were poorly controlled. A man with such claws, very uncertain to keep his balance, and had every chance when attaching the bomb to lose balance and fall with it in a hug. The project was shut down. Alexander Karelin, Seoul, 1988. In 1988, Karelin participated in the Olympic Games for the first time and immediately became a winner. His weight at the time was 112 kilograms. Losing to Bulgarian athlete Rangel Gorovsky after the first period, he still snatched the victory just 15 seconds before the end of the fight by applying a special reverse belt technique in the photo, which none of the wrestlers competing in the heavyweight division could repeat except him. Pixar's website in 1997 and 2023. 26 years of web design difference. Period of aggravation of relations between the PRC and the USSR. Trans-Baikal Military District, USSR, 1980s. A random photo that became unique. The dawn of the Japanese automobile industry. Three-wheel motorcycle with a girl driver Maiko-san, Japan, 1923. The Weaker Sex, 1920. Sliding on ice blocks, Paris, Place de la Concorde, May 1940. Exactly 41 years ago, on April 26, 1986, the Chernobyl nuclear power plant disaster occurred. The accident was the largest in the history of nuclear power engineering. U.S. children in the 70s. A Vietnamese paratrooper sniper stands at an observation and firing position in Phu No Quan district on the edge of the Red River Delta during Operation Muet Gull, October 4, 1953, during the fighting for Viet Bac in Tonkin, French Indochina. A man on a pole at the World Pole Sitting Championships, Rolla Florence, Veen, Netherlands, August 9, 1971. Dot Robinson, 1912-1999, was a pioneering woman motorcyclist and one of the founders of the Motor Maids Motorcycle Club, sanctioned by the American Motorcyclists Association, photo taken in 1941. Danish humanitarian Helgi Meyer, 1992. When the UN refused aid to Bosnia, Helgi took it upon himself to help the victims. Using a modified 79 Camaro, he hauled several tons of aid and supplies. He traveled more than 100,000 miles. Interior of a British Imperial Airways commercial airplane, 1936. General Augusto Pinochet hands power to democratically elected President Patricio Aylwin, ending a 17-year dictatorship in Chile, March 11, 1990. A Cadillac DeVille against the background of the destroyed presidential palace in Grozny, 1995. Spectators in Marseille watch French battle flags being taken to Africa after the German conquest of France in 1940. Jews in Jerusalem listen to the trial of former SS officer Adolf Eichmann on a portable radio. On May 11, 1960, a group of Mossad and Shin Bet agents captured Eichmann in Argentina and brought him to Israel for trial on 15 criminal charges, Jerusalem, 1961. One of the first tanks the British used against the Germans on the Western Front in 1916, they hoped to get through the Germans' barbed wire and give infantry cover. But this didn't work everywhere because of the muddy ground. In the end, they only played a supporting role. Masaru Ibuka and Akio Morita, founders of Tokyo Telecommunications Engineering Corporation. In 1958, the company would change its name to Sony, Tokyo, Japan, 1946. Danish Arctic explorer Peter Freuchen and his wife, Vogue illustrator Dagmar Kohn, 1947. A blind couple walks with their child through the streets of Budapest, 1984. Vancouver's first beach lifeguard, Joe Fortes, in 1905 at English Bay Beach. Moscow transportation at the junction of eras, 1939, photographer Mikhail Prechner. The social landscape of northern England in the 1970s and 1980s, the lives of working-class children, photo by Tish Mert, a documentary photographer who captured the lives of ordinary people in northeast England. Girls in traditional clothes pose for a photo somewhere near Amsterdam. Holland, 1908. Note that they are all wearing the famous Dutch wooden clogs, which were then everyday footwear. A young worker at the Bologna Pulp and Paper Mill, 1929, author Arkady Shayket. Paris, 1991.
That is 25. If even one of these stayed with you, subscribe. Next week we open the archives again. Some photographs deserve to be remembered. I'm Vlad, see you in next one.